Hello and welcome. It is I, Raymond Modulin, aka the Real Estate Monkey. And today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little bit about a topic that, if anybody knows me, knows that I like to talk about, and probably ones that you guys love. And today's topic is going to be why open houses are a waste of your time. All right. Now, so we'll give a couple people some time to get in here. I want to say hello to Steve Minton, just joined, and Leslie's in here. And as you can see, there's some people in here that have the same kind of feeling I do about open houses. They're really probably not the best thing. And we're going to talk about why open houses are a waste of your time. Now, before we get started, I want to talk about a couple other things. For those of you that seem to be following this, I'm pulling up some of my notes. Always a big controversy about my shirt. So today we're wearing a batik style shirt, so we can get that out of the way, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments and all that below. But if you really want to comment, go down here. Tell me what you think, and we're going to talk about why open houses are a waste of your time. Okay, so let's start with the very first reason. First of all, the NAR says less than 2% of all homes are sold on the open house. All right, so that's 2%. Now, if anybody has a comment about this, put it right down here and tell me what you think about your open houses. Now, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and not me this time, okay? What we're talking about is, yes, there are some homes that do sell on an open house. I continually ask agents why you do open houses. And I probably asked over the course of the last couple months when been teaching live, I've asked probably hundreds of agents on why they do open houses, and we'll get to their answers in a minute. But of those 100 or so, one of them said to sell a home. And I know that homes sell on open house, less than 2%. I had a guy tell me, he said, well, I just sold one last week. I'm like, really? How long you been in the business? He said, well, I've been in the business, it was 22 years or something like that. I said, so you like open houses? He said, yes, I've done hundreds of them. I said, so wait a minute, what you're telling me is you've done hundreds of open houses and you've sold one? Aren't you kind of proving my point that open houses aren't sold through open houses? All right. So right down here, somebody tell me, why do you do an open house? Tell me why you do an open house. Give me one reason, and we can talk a little bit about it. And if you're just joining, feel free to comment down below. My name is Raymond Modulin, and I am the director of RELA University. Today, we're talking about why open houses are a waste of your time. Currently, I'm a big proponent of not doing open houses. Here's why, okay? The first reason, let's just start with this. The wrong kind of traffic will come through your open house, all right? What you're going to get is traffic that is not even remotely interested in the house. It's nosy neighbors that want to see how they've decorated. It's people that have been watching HGTV that want to see maybe some good methods of doing a bathroom or something like that. So you're entirely going to get a wrong type of traffic coming through your open house that have really no intention of ever buying, all right? The second reason is you're going to get buyers that potentially are going to come through that aren't qualified, all right? And Leslie, I saw your answers in there, and that's actually one of the reasons why we're going to get to that, all right? What's it say here? Let me read Carrie's real quick. Yeah, everybody thinks, every seller wants to do an open house. But what you end up with is the wrong kind of buyers or the wrong traffic. It's not even buyers, just traffic. You get neighbors coming through. You get buyers that aren't qualified that probably can't even buy your property at all. All right? So you get unqualified buyers. You get the wrong type of traffic through. And the third reason is it's a safety issue, which has now become my biggest paramount issue, especially with me and my agents in my brokerage. There is this whole security issue of theft. Now, for those of you out there that are watching and you do open houses, what's the first thing you tell your client when you do an open house? Put away all your valuables, right? We don't want any rings or jewelry or out there like that. Second thing, put away your prescription drugs because those get stolen too. Third thing, Oh wait, we also got to put away any weapons. I mean, if you're a handgun owner, or say you're a hunter and you've got rifles, you got to put away all your weapons. Now we've got all kinds of other issues. What about just personal safety inside of an open house? You've got people coming in that you don't know, that aren't qualified, and who knows what's on their mind. You've got this whole thing of, well, I'm by myself potentially sitting in an open house. So all of the safety issues that come with this, as well as all of the other reasons. Now, so then why do we do open houses? And I read a couple. What we're talking about is how open houses are a waste of your time. All right. If you've got a reason why you do an open house, put it right down here. And we'll talk a little bit about why people do open houses. There are mainly two reasons why people do open houses. And Leslie, who just chimed in, gave me the most important reason that anybody does an open house. Well, I get more clients. Yes, true. You get clients that aren't interested in that house. They want another house. Now, of those clients that come in, how many are actually going to be buyers? How many actually are going to use you? And how many actually come in without another agent? So, yes, there is a potential for you to pick up some potential buyers for other properties down the road. That's one reason why we do open houses. That's probably the number one reason. And it seems to be the old mindset that a lot of brokers want to start out with their agents, and that's what they tell them the first way to get business. Hey, here's how you get business. Go have an open house, and you're going to get all the buyers that come through. Yes, you will get all the buyers that come through. But how many buyers are going to come through? Because of what Steve Minton just mentioned, with today's technology, buyers don't even need to go to the house now. Only until they're sure. And if they're sure, they've already probably got an agent that's going to call up and schedule a showing, or call you to schedule a showing as the listing agent. So very few chance that you're going to get a buyer. So number one reason we do is to get more clients. All right. The second reason we do that is to literally show our client that we're doing something. We all want to do something. Here's the problem with our business, in my potential, or in my mind. Our business is 90% behind the scenes. And what I mean by that, it's behind the scenes of even your client. They don't understand how many times you've talked to the lender, or if you're on the other side, how many times you've talked to a home inspector, or the title company, or the other agent. All they really see is us coming to a listing, asking for this thing called a commission. We put a sign in the yard, and then we call them every couple days and go, hey, this is what's happened, or this isn't what's happening. And this is actually an outward visual activity that we can actually do to perform for our client that says, oh, look, my agent's actually having open houses, all right? So that's the second reason we actually do this, is to show our client that we're actually doing something. So in case you're new, my name's Raymond. I'm the director of Real University. What we're talking about is why open houses are a waste of your time. So far, we covered the issue of you got the wrong kind of traffic coming through. You've got unqualified buyers coming through. You've got security issues, as well as personal and for your client. And the reason we do it is mainly to get other business that doesn't like the house we're sitting in, or to show the client that we're actually doing something, all right? So that's why having an open house is a waste of your time. Now, let's talk a little bit about something else. Steve Minton brought this up just a minute ago. With today's technology, how much more could you do with those hours that you wasted on a open house? Good. So first of all, let's back up. 2-hour open house, 3-hour open house, that's common. Let's do 2 hours. So for 2 hours of open house, how much time do you actually spend to do 2 hours of open houses? You probably spend another, let's guess, 5 hours outside. You've got to schedule it. You've got all the planning for it. If you've got special flyers you have to print out, you've got open house signs to put out, you've got directional signs to put out, you've got all that cleanup after you're done. So let's assume for an open house, you're going to spend 5 hours or 6 on a 2-hour open house. So 6 hours, you're all in. What kind of technology with today's world can you do with 6 hours of Facebook ads, direct email campaigns, constant contact, Twitter accounts, all of that thing, all of those things actually will provide a better return for you. Plus, they're going to eliminate all the risk issues, the safety issues, the theft issues, because those people that are now just walking through the open house aren't going to just be walking through. They're going to call you, schedule an appointment, then you can qualify them. You can vet them or check them out to make sure that they're not some whack job. So there's a lot of reasons to not do it. Take the technology that we have created in the form of virtual tours now. To some extent, we've got drone pictures we could use. You've got all kinds of other photography. You've got websites that you can dedicate. You got IDX sites on your own site. You've got Facebook that you can post it on your business page. So the technology is there to probably get the same exposure that you would have gotten on that open house. Plus, there's also a cost for an open house. You've got the cost of your time. Plus, on top of that, are you going to have snacks? Are you going to have water? Are you going to have juices? Plus, any open house signs or directional signs or all that. I had a discussion the other day, and the guy goes, well, all my open house signs are free. I'm like, free? I'd like some of those signs. He's like, well, I'm the blah, 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 blah agent. I'm not going to mention their name. He goes, but we get our signs. I'm like, do you pay a desk fee? Well, of course we do. There's the cost. If you were doing less open houses and that company needed to buy less open house signs, maybe your split would go up. So there's always a cost, both physical and emotional, of going through that. The emotional portion of that cost is having an open house, which I have had, where no one comes through. All right. Now you've got that conversation with your client about, hey, had an open house, nobody came through. So that almost, to me, felt like it was a failure on my part. So now I tell them, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you a dedicated website, 123smithstreet.com. Dude, those are cheap and easy to get now with WordPress and all that stuff. And no one else has got that because it's specific to an address. On that, put all kind of visual tours, put drone pictures from aerials, all kinds of stuff with technology, and then just barrage social media, pointing everybody to that website, and you can spend a lot less time than that 6 or 8 hours, all right? So let's recap real quick in case you're new. If you've got any comments, post them down here. If you got any questions later, Raymond@myrealyou.com. But here's what we're talking about. Why is it a waste of time to do an open house? Because there's a physical cost, there's an emotional cost. There is a chance for theft, there's a chance for personal injury, there's a chance that you're going to have people coming through your house that aren't, all they're wanting to do is see how their nosy neighbor decorates their house. That you're going to get buyers that probably aren't qualified yet, so they have to go through all that process. And the last one is just all of the hassle that goes with having an open house as far as timing. The other thing that we didn't mention, but once again Steve just brought in, is the cost of your time. Because while you're doing this, you're also not doing something else. And I don't know what that means to you, but to me that might mean I'm not spending time with my family. I am not spending time with my wife. I am not spending time on another client that needs more help than this fictitious thing called an open house out there. Now, so for those of you that want to yell at me and come and put mean comments about how open houses are the best thing in the world, that's fine. But just remember really why you're doing an open house. It's not to sell that house. It's to get more clients to make your current client think you're doing something, all right? Now, if you're new and you didn't catch all of this, this is actually going to be on Real University's site. Every week, I do this live on Fridays. I come in here and then I post it on as a podcast. The podcasts are for members. Membership is free. Just go start your account over at myrealyou.com. That's the letter U. myrealyou.com, create an account. All the other podcasts that I've done are on there. I'm going to start putting some old radio shows for those of you that remember me doing radio at XNT and Freedom 95.9. Until then, next week we're going to be here at 12 noon, right here on Facebook Live. If you've got a question and I use your question as the topic for my podcast next week, you're going to get some cool swag, all right? So if you've got questions, send them to me. Until then, I want to say peace out, man.